All right, everybody. So today we have Brandy White from the University of Mississippi Medical Center School of Dentistry. Brandy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. As good as I can with everything going on with the Corona situation. But hey, it's a new day. Everything's gonna be great. But if we can, let's go ahead and just kind of hop into the interview. So if you can, please give us a brief summary of your dental school journey. So, where you're from, where you went to undergrad, what did you major in, and did you take a year off?
Okay, so I am from a really small town in South Mississippi called Taylorsville. I went to undergrad and then I actually took 2.5 years off. So I went into sales
Mhm.
for a little while just because I had fast tracked through school and I did 4 years and actually 3 years. So I
Okay.
was kind of burnt out on school and I already knew that dentistry was what I wanted to do. So I took a year off or 2.5 years off and I actually did sales for a little while and I actually modeled for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I realized I was like, this is not what I want to do. I do want to go back to school. So, and then I just applied for at UMC and got in.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I'm assuming you took your DAT in those 2 years, correct?
Yes.
Okay, okay, awesome.
Definitely so.
And so, a lot of pre-dents always ask us the question. They're always wondering, like, what's the number one DAT tip that you would that we would give to them? And so, I kind of want to ask you that question. What's that one piece of advice that you would give with regards to the DAT?
Right. So I hate big tests. I can't stand them. Like no one likes to take a big test. So the best thing that I did is I would study. I kind of had it like spread out. And
Okay.
I made a routine of, okay, so I'm going to take 2 hours out of every day and study this section, 2 hours out of every day and study this section. And then I would just take practice tests over and over like crazy, just so that I would get good at taking tests in a time setting, because that's what it is. Basically, it's just you can do the work. You're taught that, you learn that in school, you can do the work, but the thing is, you have to be good at doing the work in a time setting. That's what's so hard. So I would practice over and over, taking practice tests in an hour or 2 hours, however long it's supposed to be. And then I'm pretty sure I did a Kaplan course, the
Okay.
DAT Kaplan course.
Okay. Okay.
And
Awesome.
that really helped. Me and another friend did it together and we kind of, held each other accountable and it was good.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And so, obviously, you did well. And then you got the interview. And so, another thing that pre-dents are always wondering, they always wonder about the interview process. Of course, they're super nervous about it. So, if you can kind of walk us through how your interview day was at the University of Mississippi.
Of course, you're going to be nervous going in there because you don't know what questions they're going to ask you. And this is your whole life kind of planned out for you. But my best advice is just go in there and have a good time. Just be yourself. Show them why you want to be a dentist so bad, why you've worked 4 years to get in dental school, and just let them know what you're passionate about. And be honest and up forth, and just not overthink things, and just don't go in there with this predisposition of I'm gonna say this and this. Just go in there and be yourself.
And so, like, do you remember like how the actual layout of the interview was? I mean, did you have like multiple mini interviews, or was it just like you and one other faculty, and they're just kind of walking you through everything?
Right. I think I had about like 6 or 7 people, and I would go into different offices. So
Okay.
I had a student that would actually be in a different office, and I would sit in there for about, I mean, some were like 10 minutes, and then some were like 5 minutes. Some would ask me 4 or 5 questions, and then some wouldn't even ask me questions. Some would just like, we would just have a normal conversation.
Right.
So
Right.
it just depends on the person and who you get in there with. It varies, but you're not like in front of a whole panel. It's about 6 or 7 different interviewers. You're going into different places.
Okay. And so, was University of Mississippi the only school that you applied to, or did you have other interviews elsewhere?
I did not. I actually just applied to the University of Mississippi. My thing was I was gonna apply the next year to more places if I didn't get in at UMC, but by the grace of God I got in, so didn't have to do
That
that.
matters. Right, right, right. Okay, awesome. And so, your first year, what was your first year like? I mean, can you kind of walk us through, your didactic classes? Did you have any exposure to clinic? Were you able to pick up a handpiece, things of this nature? Can you kind of just like give us a whole summary of your D1 year?
Yes. So D1 year is terrible. Just go ahead, throw that out there. If you've been through dental school, you know it's terrible. It's the first year. You're just getting acclimated to the setting and studying 24/7, and it's not fun. But you do get to pick up a handpiece. You do get to, learn about different things, and you're exposed to so many different aspects of dentistry that first year. My best advice is just take it all in. Be patient because it all will make sense and it will all come full circle. But it's just learning so many new concepts that make it really difficult. But I mean, you're just in class. I know at UMC, they're in class, 8 to 5 every single day. And classes are mandatory, you need to be there. But it's hard because then when you leave class, you have to go home and you have to study. So it is dental school is life. It's all downhill. It's fun. It gets better. You're in clinic. You're having fun. So you just have to suffer through that first year to know the basic concepts.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. And so, when do you all actually start to see patients? Is that your third year, or when is that?
Well, actually, our dean is awesome at UMC. Dr. Felton actually did a class for the denture course
Mhm.
and let us have our own patients. So we actually got to make dentures for a patient our second year. So that was really good because it got us used to being in clinic.
Yep.
It got us used to working with patients because some of us, didn't really know how to talk to the patient in their terms because we've all been on that first year terms of, how to 232 and everything else. And it gets you used to talking to patients in that form. So we actually started our second year with that course. And then third year, you're in clinic the majority of the time, third and fourth.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And so, I mean, obviously, I know you haven't been to any other dental schools, but what is something that you find to be extremely unique about the University of Mississippi? Like, what's that one thing where you're like, this is special. I haven't heard about this being offered at any other dental schools.
Oh my God, we have so many things. One of the big things that I love about UMC is that we're one of the only schools that actually we get to place a lot of implants.
Hmm.
Now that's working a lot with the but we get to place a lot of implants. And right now in the society we live in, most people want implants, and we actually get that training while we're in school. And I think that's so incredibly important right now, especially where we live, because a lot of patients are coming in wanting those implants, and we get to place in third and fourth year at UNC. So I think that's great, and I think it's partly because of the we have such amazing faculty there. So.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so the last question of the interview, if you were able to go back in time while you were first applying to dental school, what is that one piece of advice that you would give to yourself?
Goodness. Um, there's so many things.
Yeah, right.
you know, just take it all in. Just take it all in and know that it's going to be worth it. That first year you get so discouraged because you're studying so much and you don't have time for anything else. And you're missing your friends and your family, but just know that it's all worth it because there is a light at the end of the tunnel and you will get there. And you picked the most amazing profession. I can say that every dentist that I've ever talked to has said you picked the most amazing profession. So just remember that. That's all
Yep.
I can say.
Yep. I like it. I like it. Brandy, thank you so much for your time today. If anybody else has any questions, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, just reach out to me at my Instagram. It's Brandy Lynn White. So if you
Okay.
have any questions, I don't mind answering anything because I know it's a long process and it's a hard process. So I understand.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brandy. And of course, I'll put that in the description below. But once again, from the Future DDS family, we want to say thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. If you have any questions for Future DDS, you can reach out to us on Instagram at _Future DDS, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But until next time, see y'all later.